Well, hi there again, Thomas Eriksson here. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Surrounded by Idiots. Not that you are surrounded by idiots, not that I am, not that, well, some people actually are surrounded by idiots. And to be honest, what's so interesting with this is that some people seem to be surrounded by more idiots than others. Now, how might that be? I don't know. But it is interesting. I think it's about understanding. It sounds like a cliche, but it is the truth. We have to understand more about each other. And now I will let you in on a little secret. This is something that relates to a lot of people, close to every second person you will ever meet. So now please pay attention. Okay. There are people around you who are cool, who doesn't seem to react to very much or anything at all. Calm people, relaxed people, friendly people, great team players, very, very moderate, very low key. Don't make a fuss about anything, basically. Sometimes you and me, for sure, envy them because they are so cool. They seem to be comfortable with everything. Good with others, nice, easygoing, friendly, I mentioned that, right? Never heated up about, well, anything. They're just cool. Of course, sometimes there is a bit of a conundrum to understand and realize what they think, their opinions in certain issues, even if it is very important. We just don't know. That can be extremely frustrating. If you don't know, what do you think? I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. What do you think? Even if you like them, you have a couple of questions about them. Because there are some not so logical things about them. It would be great, it would be nice to be that calm, that cool. And of course, it's great to be a good team player. That's a no-brainer, right?
Okay.
Somebody who's known for excellent listening skills. Sometimes you even want to be a little more like that. Now, there's nothing wrong with being you, as I mentioned before, but it is just the case that you're not like that, not exactly. Or maybe you are. Actually, statistically, there's a high chance that you actually are, because this is close to, as I mentioned, 50% of the population on this very planet. I have a confession to make. I would also like to be a little bit more like that. Constantly interested in others, without stress, being able to just sit down and relax. Of course I would love that, but I can't sit still. I don't have it in me. But I would like to be able to, and maybe grab a cup of coffee. So, who are these people? Where can we find them? How can we get to know them? And what can we learn from them? Let me introduce you to the green people. According to disc theory, these are the introverts and interested in relations. These are actually, let's say, the people, if you know what I mean.
You're just teasing me.
Friendly, patient, helpful, considerate, modest, loyal, understanding. Sometimes I think there's nothing that can actually upset these kind of people. They seem to have an infinite amount of patience. Of course, that's not the point, but it sure feels like it. Not all green people are extremely patient. There are people who are even more patient than this. You can check the video for the blue ones, but that's another story. However, they don't seem to care very much if it's going to take some time. We'll get back to that. But they look happy. Well, not happy as in happy, but they are kind of happy as in, satisfied. That kind of happy. Like they're pleased with everything. How do I know this? Well, they keep telling me that. It's good. Let's stay here. This is nice. I worked with this lady many years ago. Brilliant administrator, excellent office, resource. She was kind of the backbone everything was built upon. Friendly, always with this nice, but not offensive smile. It's not like the yellow, but more like looking great, you know. Smile for everybody and a friendly tap on the back there, on the shoulder there, and say, hey, how are you? Can I help you with something? Can I do something with you? Helping everybody all the time. Never said no to anything. Whatever I had, I said, could you help me with this? And she said, sure, no problem, that's my job. Of course, I'd like to help you. And we put the paper on the top of the pile because it was kind of piling up. It was because she was so nice and so kind all the time. All those tiny little details we consultants tended to skip is too strong. Forgot about, couldn't care less about, hated. She was there, she fixed it, not because she was extremely orderly, that wasn't it. No, she did it because she wanted to help. She didn't want to put anybody in trouble, so she was loyal to all of us. 15 of us, and she helped everybody all the time. You can imagine what it looked like at her desk. A lot of papers. She said, I fix it. Impressive. Really, really impressive. And she never forgot anybody's birthday, or name day, or the partner's birthday, or name day. She actually knew when my kids had their birthdays and name days. And the cat, she knew when my cat had her birthday. Well, I knew that too because it's the same day as the king. That has nothing to do with this story, but anyways. The clients loved her. My God, did they love her? Oh, she was the star. She was everything this business was built upon. Without her, it would have been fallen apart. Crash, boom, bang. She saved us so many times, and they loved her completely. She never said no to, well, anyone. She helped everyone. Completely, without any prestige or anything. Didn't have to have her name on the papers. No, that wasn't the point. She did it because she wanted to. That's the beauty of the green behavior. They do it because they want to do it. And that is actually pretty amazing. Anyways, she created no turmoil at the office. Anyways, no conflicts. Anyways, there was never any arguments about anything, actually. Let's move on. I sometimes miss her. It's really easy to work with the greens. They don't demand anything. They're just there all the time. And you can count on them, actually. Let's be serious for a while. Let's talk about this smoothness of the greens. The smoothness that everybody is so impressed by. I have mentioned it a couple of times. The greens always say yes. Of course, this isn't the whole truth. They don't say yes all the time, but they say yes more times than anybody else. So, what is the problem with saying yes? Well, the smoothness and to just say yes is one thing that makes the greens not noticed, which is kind of their way of doing things. They don't want to be in the center, in the middle of things. They would like to be a little bit to the side and just act in silence, let's call it. That is what I call the smoothness. Sometimes it's a kind of invisibility. It's even some kind of strange nothingness over it all, because they're just out there, you know. They are there, but you might not see them. You might not hear from them, but they are there. Now, I don't want to be rude, especially to the greens. But however, sometimes they kind of just too nice. You can't be that nice all the time. There's nothing wrong with being nice. So of course not, but there's something suspicious about the whole thing now, isn't it? Pleasantly nodding and smiling all the time. I mean, are they really that nice? Is it possible to agree with everybody all the time? Now, that's something to ponder. Or do greens just have a lack of opinions of their own? That, my friend, is actually not the case. It cannot be people with no opinions. No. The answer to this conundrum is something completely different. There is one thing that bothers them more than other things. One thing they really don't want, and that is something we call changes. Ugh. Who needs changes? We don't need any changes. Take out the changes. It's perfect as it is. They hate it. They loathe it. They don't want to see changes anywhere. Why not, you might ask yourself? Well, who needs them? Better the devil you know than the one you don't. Okay, maybe it doesn't work at all, but at least we know what it is. And that's more safe. That's more stable for us. So don't change anything. Many years ago I held this public talk in a huge, let's say, old cinema. And exactly here, talking about the Greens, one guy shouting over the head of everybody else in the audience, "Hey, I don't know if it was better before, but I know it's worse now." Changes, not the Greens' cup of tea. That's just the way it is. Another idea the Greens actually are struggling with is they don't like conflicts. Not many people do like conflicts, of course. But the Greens especially don't want to argue. Not involved in arguments and conflicts. No, no. Back to the previous colleague. The helpful lady everybody loved. She said yes to everything and everybody all the time, remember? But why exactly did she do that? What was the reason behind? Once we had decided to have this little, let's say, celebration at the firm. Christmas time was coming up, everybody had worked really, really hard. So I came up with this brilliant idea to celebrate in a more, let's say, calm way. To be able to talk to each other, because everybody had been running around like idiots actually the whole season. So maybe we should kind of take some drinks at the office to begin with, sitting down, you know, talking in a calm, friendly way and kind of listening, how have you been the whole season? And then we can go downtown maybe and go to, let's say, a Japanese restaurant, you know, sitting on pillows, cushions, soft music, well, you get the whole idea. And she said to me, "Oh, that's a lovely idea. I'm going to fix that immediately," she said. Another colleague, let's call him Red Ralph, shall we? He overheard the whole conversation. And he said, "Out of the question! This is not happening. I'm not coming. I have been at the office the whole season, late evenings, weekends, nights. I am not stepping in here. I'm not setting my foot in here one more time this year. No, we are going downtown immediately when we are celebrating. Down to the nightclubs, rolling our hats, whiskey rounds, drinking champagne out of somebody's shoe. Meeting in the office? Forget about it. That's not gonna happen." And she said, "Oh, that's a lovely idea. I'm going to look into it immediately." Now this is a conundrum, if nothing. She said yes to both of us. Let's look at why. Had she said yes to him, there would have been a potential conflict with me, because then she had to say no to me. Had she said yes to me, she'd had an immediate conflict with him, because she would have turned him down. And here is the real problem. Conflicts have to get out of them. Of course, she didn't get away with it, because at the end of the day, everybody found out what she had been up to, and all hell broke loose. What she gained with this was conflict. Ooh, it wasn't beautiful. Let's wrap this up. Would you like to, let's say, go green? More friendly, more open to other people, more helpful maybe, without letting people kind of take advantage of you? Well, here is 3 tips to do exactly that. Number 1, train yourself to be an excellent listener, because the Greens are exactly that. They actually hear what you say, and they will remember what you said. Why? Well, they are absolutely willing to listen to you about you and your life, and they have no, let's say, need to talk about themselves. And in a conversation, that is actually a very lovely thing. Number 2, be helpful. Offer your service without expecting anything in return. Because if you do, you're not helping, you're doing business. Even if it feels unfair to some extent, it works. People like it when you get out of your way to do something for somebody else. But again, Be careful so people don't step on you or take advantage of you. Number 3, accept that things can take time, especially changes. Take one step at a time. Don't forget to pause once in a while. And everything will be just great. Or everything will be just green. And when you think about it, that is actually not a very bad thing. I don't think I can put it in any better way. Thank you for watching and go green.